Hi, it's Katie, and I wanted to share my thoughts from our text in Chapter 7, Texturing with Resources. I have not been as interested, I guess, or as in awe of the quotes at the beginning of each of the chapters as I have probably this one. The quote at the beginning from Cennino Cennini states, "As soon as you can, place yourself under the guidance of a master and remain with him as long as possible." And I just wrote big letters, yes, with an exclamation mark and underlined it several times. And I even wrote my brother's initials here because as soon as I read this, I immediately thought of him. He is currently in welding school. He's 25 years old. His name is Christopher. And he was sharing with me how he's had different instructors throughout this school, throughout his lessons. And one of his instructors that he currently has, when he finishes a project, he'll take that project to his instructor, and Christopher has said the instructor says, "Yes, that's good. Yes, that's good." And so Christopher does well, but he wants to excel. And Christopher recognizes he is not perfect and that he has a lot to learn and he wants to learn. So he told me that after he goes to that instructor, gets his grade for the class, he goes to a different instructor that he used to have who does give constructive criticism, who does give that important feedback so that he's able to go and make improvements or know what he did well. And so the fact that he found somebody to do that with, I think is really something we all should have those opportunities to do. And I'm thankful as a big sister. I love that he took that up on himself to go find somebody who can help him be great. He found a master. And so as we continue to read the text and the question is posed, is the same true for literary leaders and others in the field of literacy education? Of course, the answer is yes. As the text continues to say how we need to keep up to date. And I've been in this district for 5 years. We all know that it is easy as you have been in a teaching position or as you're becoming closer to retirement. I would imagine it's very easy to say, I don't need to learn that because I'm retiring this year, or I don't need to learn this because I already know how to do it. I hope that I'm not like that. But we have a teacher in our district. My children both had her, and this has been my first year to be on the same campus as her. But this particular teacher, she's retiring this year. And we have several people from our service center on this particular campus that are coaching our teachers, and they were not going to give her a coach because she's retiring. And the whole purpose is to help them for next year as well. And she went to one of our instructional specialists and said, listen, I know that I'm retiring, but I want to do better. I know there's things I can do better. And I would love for someone to watch me, to observe me, and provide me with that feedback so that I can grow and improve as well. I hope that that is me. I hope that that is what I do as I get closer to retirement. But this woman has been just extraordinary in the things that she's looking for to reach her children. She teaches math. She's constantly bringing technology into her classroom and trying to share it with her teachers who are much younger than her. And they don't always cling to it as much as she does. She's also one of those teachers that she is always going to look at the whole child. My daughter, had her in 4th grade for math. Well, my daughter loves to read, and so this teacher found places where she could connect with my child and got her hooked on these mystery books and these mystery novels. She had never been exposed to that genre. And so when I look at teachers like that, even though she wasn't her reading teacher, she impacted her reading instruction. She impacted my child's love for reading. even as a math teacher. And so I was thankful for her. But she's the kind of teacher that I hope to be, because she is constantly, as the text says, keeping up to date in her field, and really in any area that she is working with children. And so I hope that that's something that I am able to do. I noticed that there was a lot of our text spent on the professional networking and professional organizations to be a part of. I don't know what organizations everyone is a part of right now. I am connected with ATPE, a teacher organization, and then I'm also a part of ALTA, which is for language therapists, because I'm working to be a language therapist to work with dyslexia. So I'm curious what other areas you all are, what other places you're connected with as far as professional networking. I do 100% support and love being able to connect and read with, especially all the things on social media. One of the areas that I miss now that I live in a different community, a different district, my previous district would do Twitter discussions on certain evenings, and they would post questions, and it was something that was easy for me to do and be involved in even at home, because it was a quick read. But those quick reads and having those ideas constantly at the forefront of my thoughts would help me impact the way that I would teach the next day, or maybe as I put together lesson plans. And so I think the social networking and the social media has probably been the biggest area with technology that I've been involved in, as far as working to network and do the literacy organizations and professional development organizations, and being able to connect through that. The text also mentioned first year teachers and how some of them have a mentor, or if they're new to the district or new to teaching. I know that our district does that, and so that's been beneficial. And it also mentioned reaching out and connecting with our community. This isn't, I don't know if this would be considered the same thing, but as a reading teacher in the elementary campus, we started working with, we don't have a school library. If you've had a class with me, I know you've heard me talk about this before. We have a school library, excuse me. We don't have a community library. And so that has really been one of the very first things I've wanted to focus on when we moved here. And it just is not going to happen as far as getting a community library, but we do our summer reading program, and we get people in our community who are business owners or government workers, and they come in and read to our students, and we advertise them, and they get to bring a book that's about connected either with what they do for a living or with their business. And so there's some ways that we work to bring that community in, and when they come in, the community members, they see what our kids are learning and what they're doing. They're connecting with them, and they're connecting with our staff because they're wanting to find ways that they can help even more. And so that's been an area that has been eye-opening for me, is that involvement with the community, even for people who don't have kids in our schools, maybe who don't have children at all, or don't have children, school-age children. And I think that's a huge piece that can be very important for us. As I continued to read, though, I also appreciated the idea that if we are going to expect our children to know how to use this technology, and not just to be consumed by it, but to create with it, how we need to be doing that as teachers. And I am in an area right now where technology, first, is scary. Second, we don't have any up-to-date technology. It's all slow. We don't have what we need to make big differences. And then we're lacking that professional development or the tools so that our staff knows how to do it. And then we're being supported as we go out and do it, and being held accountable. I'm learning that rural districts are just really spread very thin. And so I loved reading what the text said, and 100% support the idea of technology and that collaborative piece, and professional organizations outside of where we are. Because sometimes well, we'll see a bigger world. We'll see other ideas. And so I look forward to hearing your ideas and maybe how you are integrating technology with your students and what kind of things you're either creating with your technology or your students are creating with technology. Thank you.